Good morning, children. Today we are going to start the second part of the chapter Reproduction in Organisms in class 12th biology. In the first chapter, asexual reproduction, what are the types and how does it help? Here we will deal with sexual reproduction and how does it help us? Events in the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves formation of the zygote due to fusion of male and female gamete. It is a complex, elaborate, slow process as compared to asexual reproduction that we have already read. 3 phases of life are found in case of sexual reproduction. Then you will find that is juvenile or vegetative phase, reproductive phase, and senescent phase. So the juvenile and vegetative phase is in case of plants. And hormones are responsible for the transitions between these phases. Based upon the flowering and fruiting pattern, the plants are divided into annual, just like wheat, rice, marigold, biennial, carrot, radish, and perennial. The period of interval in flowering is mature phase. So here what happened? Thus in perennial some flowers at repeated intervals, just like mango, apple or orange, and some throughout the year like China rose. Some shows regular flowering or some unusual flowering like bamboo. Bamboo flowers once in a lifetime, that is in between 50 to 100 years. And another flower that is also called Nilkuranji, Strobilanthes kunthiana, found in the hilly areas of Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. It flowers in every 12 years. Last time it was flowered in October 2018. So now you could able to see these are the bamboo flowers and this is Nilkuranji. Next we have to learn what is oviparous and viviparous. As you know, the oviparous are the organism which lay eggs, whether it is fertilized or unfertilized, and the viviparous are the organism which give birth to young individuals. And as you know, the fertilized eggs have calcareous cell to protect from the harsh environment. For example, reptiles and birds. And in viviparous, no cell is there, but it is protected inside the mother's body. Example, cows, dog, human being. Then the sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, you will find the females of placental mammals exhibit cyclic changes during the reproductive phase, which is two types, that is oestral cycle and menstrual cycle. In oestral cycle, it occurs in non-primates and the animal shows estrus or heat at the time of ovulation, and copulation occurs only during that period. No menstruation at the end of this cycle. And if you will come to menstrual cycle, it occurs in primates. There is no heat period and copulation during any part of the cycle, and at the end of it, the menstrual cycle, there is menstruation. Then some mammals exhibiting these cycles only during the favorable season. So when they are residing in the wild climate. So wild animals, they are showing in a particular season, so they are also known as seasonal breeders. And those who are reproductively active throughout the year, they are called continuous breeders. Now we have to deal with events in sexual reproduction, which divided into 3 phases, that is your pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. In pre-fertilization, it involves gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Gametogenesis is the formation of male and female haploid gametes. That means the gametes are always haploid. So when it forms the gametes, that is, it may form homo or isogametes or hetero or anisogametes. So when it occurs, the isogametes you could able to see in case of Cladophora, the alga, that is isogametes, and here you see the fucus, it is heterogamete, female and male gamete. Here also in human being, that is the ovum and sperm. So here you could find the gamete size is different here. And male gametes are known as anthrozoids or sperms, and female gametes are known as egg or ovum. All gametes are always haploid, and the one set of chromosomes or genome it contains, that is called genome. One set of chromosomes means that is called genome. Later you will deal with this topic. Then several organisms belonging to Monera, fungi, algae and bryophyta have haploid plant body. But in organism belong to Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm, Angiosperm and most of the animals have diploid parental body. When the parental body is haploid, the gametes are haploid, there is no problem. But when it is diploid, that time the parent body, the cell has to undergo meiosis, so that the reduction division will take place and the haploid gamete will produce from the diploid parental body. So what happens in this case? The cell which undergoes meiosis is known as meiocyte. So that is the term that is used for gamete mother cell. Here you could able to see that one set of chromosome gets incorporated into each gamete. Number of chromosome example is given. Human being, meiocyte it is 46, then gamete it is 23. You could calculate by using this formula. Here you have to calculate both the chromosomes in meiocyte and gamete. So here in some cases it is given the chromosome number in meiocytes and some cases it is given in gametes. But you have to calculate in both the cases. Then you could see here the condition. What you are able to see in one organism, you could find both the sexes, testis and ovary. Then it is called bisexual. And here also in the plant you could able to see that is both Anthridium and Oogonium. Here in the Mertensia you could see that Anthridiophore is different and Archegoniophore in different thallus. Then cockroach, it is unisexual, testis is different, ovary is different, and here in the sweet potato you could find both stamen and carpel in one flower. Sexuality in organism, when we are considering in case of plants, the unisexual condition is known as heterothallic and dioecious. It is found in the papaya and date palm. Or bisexual condition is homothallic or monoecious, that is coconut and cucurbit. Here you could see in the date palm, it is the male flower and it is the female flower. So it is found in the bunch and it is found separately. In animals, the hermaphrodite is used to denote the bisexual conditions. It is found in the earthworm, sponge, leech and tapeworm, and the unisexual condition is found in cockroach, mosquito, ant, bees, wasp. Here unisexual condition is found. In bees and wasps you will find unusual type of sex differentiation, that is haploid male and diploid female. Then after formation of gamete, the gamete has to transfer to ensure fertilization. So in majority of the organism, the male gametes are motile, whereas the female gametes are non-motile. So what happened? To compensate the loss, the male gamete has to transfer. So to compensate the loss during the transfer, more male gametes are produced in compared to female gametes. In seed plants, both male and female gametes are non-motile. So what happened? The pollen tube arises and the male gametes are passing through the pollen tube to reach the ovule, to reach the egg. So what happened here? The pollen grains are the carriers of the male gamete. The transfer of the pollen grains to the stigma of female organ, pollination process is involved, which helps in fertilization. Here you could see the fusion of gametes, that is forming the zygote, and new individual is formed. And next process is fertilization, the fusion of gametes to form the diploid zygote. It is also known as syngamy, which may be internal or external. And in some organisms, the female gamete undergo development to form new organisms. Without fertilization, that process is known as parthenogenesis, found in rotifer, honeybee, turkey, ants, wasps, whiptail lizards. The fertilization can be divided into two types, that is external fertilization and internal fertilization. Syngamy occurs in the body, outside the body of the organism, then it is external. It occurs in outside medium. Here the large number of gametes need to be produced because it is extremely vulnerable to predators. In internal fertilization, syngamy occurs inside the body of the organism and the number of ova are less in compared to male gametes. So it is found in the higher organisms. Then the post-fertilization, which involves the formation of zygote and embryogenesis. So it is the diploid structure. And what happened in case of fungi and algae, the zygote develops a thick wall to resist the changes, to resist the adverse conditions, whatever they are facing during the germination. So embryogenesis, so they are undergoing a period of rest. The thick resistant wall help them to undergo a period of rest. I have already shown you in the previous slide. Embryogenesis, development of embryo from zygote through cell division and cell differentiation. Based on the development of zygote, animals are categorized into oviparous and viviparous. So in reptile and birds, the fertilized eggs are covered by hard calcareous cell and the young ones are hatched out after a period of incubation. Then flowering plants. In flowering plants, after fertilization, the sepals, petals and stamens of the flower wither and fall off. Exception brinjal, tomato, in which sepals gets attached, but the pistil remain attached with the zygote develops into the embryo, ovule develop into the seed. The ovary develops into fruit, forming a thick protective wall called pericarp. After dispersal, the seeds germinate into new plants under a favorable condition. So here you could able to see this is the pericarp and seeds. The point of attachment, that is called, here the point of attachment, that is hilum, and it is point of attachment with the placenta, that is funicle. Here it is the placenta. The ovules that develop into seed. So in all the cases you could able to see the placenta and the locule and the seed. Thank you and have a nice day. Now you could test your knowledge with the questions given here. Try to solve these questions. By seeing the slide, you could able to solve the question. In case of any doubt, you could ask and contact me. Thank you.